Welcome to JCCR Racing, where we're going to be talking about, well, the fastest cars for GT7's new daily races. These are going to be must-use picks, and what cars can you use to actually beat the meta? Because when it boils down to it, you might not like the looks of the meta car. That's the one that everyone is getting those fastest laps with. So what cars can we use to help beat the meta this week in each of these tracks? Well, we'll start with the easiest one, Suzuka Circuit. Love the track, lots of fun, but no choice in car. So A112 Abarth 85 is going to be your only choice. Now if you go over to the Autodromo Nazionale Monza, let's check it out here. You can look to find the meta car. Yes, yet again, the Toyota Supra. As always, it's great on every track, and it's actually a really fun car to drive if you like front engine, rear wheel drive vehicles. Lots of fun, can take pretty good hit, but if you want to use a car that's going to be fast, you can actually go with fast and can take a hit, the BMW, but I find the BMW M6 a little tough to drive. I really like the Mercedes AMG. Super Doofus, what is up, my friend? And let's see, the Genesis, yeah, there we go. The Genesis, I was going to say, the Genesis is probably going to be up here. It's completely overpowered since, coincidentally, they happen to sponsor Gran Turismo 7. But the BMW would be great here. The 911 is actually very usable on every track, but requires some skill, some effort, and some time to get used to it. But once you got used to the 911, you can take that car anywhere. Its kryptonite or Achilles heel is elevated curbs. You go on those elevated curbs, you go out, and when you come back on, or if you spin tire when you're on those elevated curbs, you're going to spin right out, and the back end is going to come and flop out on you. So let's get to racing in just a moment, and we'll talk more about cars. If you want a mid-engine, the NSX and McLaren are great. Go anywhere. Cars. Now, yeah, no, that makes sense, Super Doofus. The 458 is very quick once you get used to it. We've got, let's see here, we've got, for the next race, let's check out. So that's for the GR3. Now the GR1, well, there you go. Not a whole lot of choice here, and both will be just fine. You can see here, well, it's just picking color, so not too complicated there. So we're not going to be joining in on that too much. We're going to really focus on the GR3. That's our car we love to race. So let's check it out here. Car settings, because we're going to be talking about car settings, brake balance. What can we do? What do we have to do to go from beginner to winner this week? Because that's the goal. We always want to start off, well, we always have no choice. We start off the week as a beginner. We finish the week as a winner, getting some pole position. So the 911, if you get used to it, is absolutely fantastic. The McLaren is great. Wherever you go, you're going to love it. The Toyota Supra is a fantastic front engine, and it's got that, just one second, that camera, the rear view camera, so you know when you're about to get hit. Excuse me. So Super Doofus, thank you for dropping some intel. The BMW is very quick on pretty much every track, just needs a little bit of getting used to. The Huracan, another great fast car, but does require work. Lots of work to put into the Mustang to be quick with it. Not an easy driver. The 458 Italia is fantastic. You've got the GTRs. They're go anywhere, great anywhere cars. Rarely are they ever the fastest, but they are fast. You can be very consistent. When it comes down to it, the car you can be most consistent with is going to be your fastest car, because you can be, you know, if on a 4 or 6 lap race, you can be a half second slower or even a second slower on a car that you're consistent with, and it's better than crashing out for, 15 to 20 seconds, a total crash out on a car that either can't take a hit or a car you just have trouble driving. Now, the 911 is great. I really like it. I've raced quite often with the RS01, and it is great too. But so far, one of the cars that I'm having the most fun driving, and it's surprising. I love it because it looks good and it can take a hit. The BMW and GTR can also really take a hit. They're your donkey car, because this game is often like Mario Kart. It's a mix of Mario Kart and sim racing. They can really take a hit, but the Mercedes AMG has been really great to me. Now, the McLaren, I said I'd want to race more with it and said the next Manufacturer's Cup, I'll probably go McLaren. So let's get used to that right here, right now. Glad you've joined. Make sure you got the live stream chat turned on, because really nice fact is that we've got a really great racing community. They're going to give you fantastic tips and tricks from the live stream. You can see some of our friends up there: PHG, Lead Pencil, Sammy Epic, AHR, Porsche GT, JCCRJ, Rizzo, Alube, Ray GR3, Rondi, and Wes. Probably a good idea if I get the steering wheel on. Always a great idea. You throw on global ranking, do a ride along or follow along. And for your settings, if you're having a car, you're having trouble driving, you can always go to your assisted settings. Prost, cheers folks. You can always turn on traction control up to as high as 5. I just want to get here, and active stability management, I'll turn that off, and counter steering assistance on weak. So let's get started. Now the McLaren is a short shifting vehicle. It's got that nice little camera at the bottom. And I don't recall racing this race, so let's just use a handful of racing craft, some strategies, and we will be on our way taking on a new track. Now with the new track that I've got little to no experience on, this is my first lap in either months or maybe ever. Just maybe a couple months. We've raced this online before. Actually not online, we've done maybe a few endurance races on this. So we're going to want to pay attention to that map. That track at the bottom is really going to let us know where we're going, and the suggested gear selector, and we'll try to use up the entire track, go from the complete outside to the inside. And I do recall this is a track that I've never really spent many laps on, because it's by far not one of my favorite tracks. It's on my least favorite track list. And I know that's wild to say, because most people, this is one of their favorites. Let me know in the comment section. Who cares whether I like it or not? Let me know what you think of this racetrack. Aussie Pug, great to have you here running the McLaren with your livery on it that you created for us. Thank you so much. In case some of you don't know who Aussie Pug is, he's our mate from Australia. He is an incredibly friendly Aussie, making some of the nicest, most attractive liveries on the internet. You go down to detail settings and you can set up your brake controller for the week. Let me know, folks, how do you drive the McLaren? Do you put it to -1, -2, or +2? Do you put the brakes more towards the front or more towards the rear? We'll be starting up in 5 seconds. Aussie Pug, Prost buddy. Hey, great. We're getting mixed in with a lot of C drivers here. And we'll be starting in 16th, so we must be... Have we been kicked into D class, into C class? Or are we still D class? We are D class, working on getting into C because we are very mixed up. What kind of German upgrades are we talking about, Super Doofus? Let us know, detail them. Excuse me. Alright, so I think for this track, Toyota Supra, yes, it's at the top of the list, but I think BMW or Mercedes AMG would be great choices. They're very solid. The Corvette is a solid car when getting hit as well. I find the Porsche and the Ferrari get kicked off a little more easily. The Alfa Romeo 4C, surprisingly solid for how small it is, but still not a big brute like the AMG, like the GTR. NSX would be great for this. You don't see the NSX anywhere near the top of the list pretty much ever. Very cool. Very cool, Super Doofus. Now, if you haven't seen Super Doofus' channel, check him out. He's on our racing team. He's one of our racing... He's part of the racing stable. .911. Very good car for this track. Maybe I'm off on the braking point, but that seemed awfully early to brake. Sorry, friend. I cannot get to the brakes in time.
Last time around this track.
I think maybe he was planning on doing zero trail braking, and as such, he wanted to do all his braking when he's in the straight line. Meaning, yeah, you brake maybe 50 earlier. So taking on the track with very, very little experience. It's the beginning of the week. We're going to start off as very much beginners. And by the end of the week, safe, smart driving will probably still avoid us getting a last place, despite no experience, very little experience on this track. But by the end of the week, we'll get some pole positions. We have yet to come across a week where we're just like, no, I dislike this track so much, I'm not racing it, I'll go do something else. Could happen though. Now let me know what cars you're driving on this. Great to hear, Super Doofus, that you found the Corvette to be pretty quick on this track. Corvette, full faith in it for this track. 911 is great for this track. The curbs are not elevated and the track is flat. All right, a little, took on a little bit of a hit there. Nothing too serious. Now, knowing your car is really important, so you can go into your race specs where you modify and play around with the equipment on the car and check out the RPM band, see where it makes power. You don't want to be over revving the car you're driving. This McLaren sure sounds good, looks good. Still prefer the look and the sound of the 458 Italia, but I think it'd be great here. It just seems to get pushed around the track a lot. You can avoid getting hit, it's fantastic. Incredible acceleration, it's weak. Its Achilles heel are the straightaways, because it is an incredibly quick car on the slow and medium turns, but on the straightaways, that's where you're going to lose out. All right. This no experience on the racetrack was maybe a bad idea. Needed to do at least 3 laps around. Just got to get back to the race basics. I'm sure I will no longer go off track if I just follow the race basics and go, okay, next corner. Hey, the Q, what is up, man? Thank you for making it. Get down into second. Let us know, the Q, if you race this track, what cars do you find quick on it? Right now I'm experimenting this track, and I usually say don't take on a new track that you don't have experience on and a new car. And I think that's why I just went off the track twice. It's a bit of not knowing the track and not knowing the car is a bit too much. And our little accident on turn 1 didn't help a whole lot either. There you go, the Q. I love it. I love it when people try the non-meta car and get good results. I just can't get around the idea of driving the Genesis. So Super Doofus, I'm assuming today you took on the 458 Italia here. Go wide. Oh, went in, did not start turning in early enough. So yeah, just not knowing the car and the track is too much. I'll come back with the car we know, and it's gonna go better. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Spa is one of my strong ones too. Yeah, I love Dragon Trail and Spa. Absolutely. All right, the McLaren is pretty solid off-road. I'm impressed. The turn-in is slower than I expect, and I think that's part of the reason I went off the track twice. No Phonetic. I didn't have Phonetic money, so I've got a Thrustmaster GT2. I changed up the steering wheel because the first steering wheel short-circuited or zapped me. Got many electrical zaps from it, and eventually it just cooked the steering wheel. Then after that, I started using 2 power bars, and I was always using 2 power bars and 2 different sources. I think I was using 2 power bars, but to the same little unit, so now they're on different breakers. Soup Doofus, big, as you know, I often work 11 or 12 hours a day, so very cool. Well, this won't be great though, getting 4th, well, maybe 13th. Won't be great for our quest into C. We'll have to come back, do a few practice laps with a car we know. Do a little drafting. Is that a Batman? So the Ferrari 458, yeah, having a wheel has made me faster, and it's made me enjoy this a lot more. Slower at first while doing the transition, but then a lot faster and enjoying the process a lot more. It's pretty huge. Kind of a huge deal to have the steering wheel. I find it's really worth the money. I don't know if VR is worth the money. Yes, I'd see, turn my head, see who's ever to the right of me, and that would be pretty cool, but I think I can get to B or maybe even A without the VR. All right, last lap. We got the 2 cars ahead of us. A little bit of a chance. I'm surprised I'm only 3.2 seconds off the top lap. And that does surprise me because I just have no experience. Yeah, Aussie Pug, congrats, man. Enjoy, you'll enjoy. After a quick transition period, you'll enjoy the steering wheel. I hope to catch you on the track as well, the queue, or I guess I'll probably have to work up to your lobby, to your speed class. Let me know what class you're in. Can set it up as one of my goals. There we go, we're getting through here, we're holding it together. Got to make sure at some point you have to let go of the brakes, even if you're thinking I'm going in too quick. Oh, great. C and B. Ooh, okay, I'll have to... I think I'd have to, at the beginning of the week, maybe practice a little before I get some bad results like we're doing here. Get a qualifying lap in. Oh, right, so lesson learned. Made the mistake for all of us. If you catch any air on that curb, you lose traction and then you slide out. All right, nothing too quick, but we'll just have to prove that you can go from 0 at the beginning of the week to hero, or beginner to winner from beginning of the week to middle. Sometimes we hit it on a Tuesday night, which is, night 2. We get a pole position, but we won't be on this race because our experience is very low on this race. But this week we will get pole position. We'll just have a chance to show that you can go from last to first if you just don't give up on your goals, put the time in, put your ego aside, kind of live through the suck. Now, Super Doofus, again, prost, and cheers to the rest of you. Yeah, I was consistent after those, 3 little accidents. Thank you, the Q. Really appreciate the support. Now, let's check it out. Let's actually hit it up with a car we know. But I want to get good with the McLaren because I think it's...
Just sub fire.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you for subbing. Really appreciate it, man. The McLaren, I think, is a great car to get used to if you like driving cars that are aspirational, cars that you're like, man, I want one of these in my garage one day. Whereas the Genesis, it's like, oh, okay, well, I don't want that in my garage. So it's not aspirational at all. Maybe I'm just being an non-aspirational person. But let's check it out here. So I'm thinking, we know the McLaren, we love the McLaren. Yeah, practice is key. Now, I'm a big fan of the 458 and the 911. AMG is pretty dope. So we've been driving the AMG lately. It is a non-meta car. We won't see probably any other AMGs on the track. So let's try to get in a little lap here.
We'll try the Lambo.
The Lambo is going to be fast, but I'm not used to it. But the last time I drove the Lambo, the last time I drove the Lambo was kind of like instant for getting used to it. So why not? I'll try the Lambo. I'm not too worried about it. There's no elevated curbs to completely wipe out on. We've got a great livery for it. Because of Aussie Pug. Let's qualify up. And now let me know, the Q, how do you run your brake balance for the Lambo? So we're using non-meta cars. The Toyota Supra is a great meta car because it's actually very fast and easy to drive, which really bugs me. I'd like the really fast cars to be very difficult to drive. So it's high risk, high reward. This is just no risk, high reward. It's just not how life works. Complete bull. Oh, 50-50 is best on the Lambo? Well, let's do that then. Now, the Lambo, I'm assuming it's a high rever. Let me know if I'm supposed to short shift it or rev it out. Fantastic. I was pretty hard on the pedal there to do a nice little test takeoff. I'd rather find its limit real quick. Oh, it's a short shifter. Thank you very much, the Q. The Q is kind of an interesting Star Trek character. Star Trek Enterprise. Next Generation, sorry. No, Next Generation? Oh, there's that elevated curve you gotta watch out for when you're driving the Lambo, Ferrari, and Porsche. Fantastic turning, great for coming out of turns. Let's see if I can get... Thing for me personally with this, I might prefer +2. I gotta test it. Bit of a slide situation there because of the elevated curbs. Very... Oh, Lambo does sound great. Completely right, Super Doofus. Good observation. All right, time for a hot lap. .911 would be very quick in that, but the 911's almost meta because it's very good, but not the greatest. But it's very good on pretty much every track. It's a fan favorite. Ooh. Oh. Well, that lap won't count. That was kind of fun. All right. Can we get one quick lap in? Lambo does feel very good on this track. If I'm not mistaken, the Lambo's good. Fair enough, the Q. Yeah, I need to focus in. That's very true. All right, so first gear for the upcoming. Let's try braking at 150. Just did some nasty to the transmission there. The elevated curves better than I would have thought. Better than on, let's say, Highway 1, which I had real problems with the Lambo on Highway 1. That, though, I feel the AMG would have handled much better. But I like how this accelerates. I like that it's fast at top speeds. Don't mind one bit, that nice little kick. Handled that very nicely. Last turn, yeah, I gotta use more curb. So true, the Q. One of the basic strategies to racecraft. So after last race, results being fairly poor, we're no longer being mixed in with a big majority of C drivers last race. But I guess will be a quick D, which is fine.
Just going to have some Luch JC in chat, so good luck racing. Checkered flag, try the vet. JC beaming face with smiling eyes.
Great, yeah, I am. And actually I got to get the show on here. I got to get the show on my phone, so I got the live chat. So we'll try out the vet tomorrow night.
Waving hand OZ.
Yeah, we're going to try the vet at this race tomorrow night. We'll try the vet, we'll try the AMG tomorrow night and the 458 Italia. And then maybe Wednesday night try the Porsche. We'll have tried most of the cars, and then we'll decide what our regular car will be for this race. The Lambo does look good here.
I wish there was a GR3 Sense 8.
Oh yeah, C8. Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely the Q. The affordable supercar. I think by accident, have I changed camera angles? I'm gonna drive. I don't have any experience in the Lambo, so sorry folks. I'm gonna drive in traction control too. It's not a car I'm used to. Oh, very cool, the Q. I have a 2017 Shelby GT350, but I don't drive it in the game because oh, I got hit in the back and that made me hit someone. Have a Shelby GT350 in the world, but in this game it's just the Mustang's very hard to control. So sorry to the individual I drove into the back of. I didn't really drive into the back of them, I got hit in the back. Okay, so you're really trying to hit me off the track. That's interesting. Lamar, you are no gentleman driver. Lots of 911s. Hey, it's Moy from last race. That weird-faced kind of Batman rear end. Let him break win for us, try to get a little bit of an advantage from that. Okay, big turn coming up. Oh, and we get hit off course. A lot of dirty donkeys here, getting punched from behind. What a... Ugh. Not how you race cars, but hey, we've seen a lot worse than that. Oh, the elevated curb. That's why usually I don't drive the Lamborghini, just because I can't handle them on the elevated curbs. The BMW is great with elevated curbs. AMG is fantastic with the elevated curbs. GTR, of course, Supra, no issues. Now that was a fair slide. Slid into me, a little paint trading, nothing deliberate, very natural. Oh, no worries, the Q. I love trying out new vehicles, and it's trying out new vehicles from the perspective of a beginner or intermediate driver. Lots of crashing at the middle of the pack. I caused some, Corvette stable on curbs. Thank you, Super Doofus, for pointing that out. And I think that's why Aussie Pug was recommending it. He knows when I'm taking on a new track, I will make mistakes and they'll be embarrassing. So sorry to the other people I'm racing with here today. I've made mistakes that have caused you trouble. Mind you, we've also been deliberately hit, but I can't blame the whole pack for that. That's, just two drivers. Lamar up there in second. And G-Wagonist, but the rest of the pack did not deserve my bad driving. Now this is like another classy driver, and Earl, very, well, classy. It's just he's driving like an actual sim, like it's an actual car. Not using it like an arcade Mario Kart bumper. Now, may look like I hit him off the track, but no, my deadly gaze did not slide him off the track. That's a case, folks, of traction control on zero. When you're not 100%, you've been watching all the A+ drivers saying you have to drive traction control on zero. That's great for them, but when you're starting off, I find that's not really always the most helpful advice, because I'd say you're better off to maybe be a quarter or a half second slower around every lap, but not do one of those every race or every second race. But the Lamborghini's been tough. This thing took a hit, took several hits. Just those elevated curbs I cannot handle. Like the Lamborghini's a great car once I know the track and will actually avoid the elevated curbs. It's a very fast car, and it's a very fast car pretty much everywhere. But you have to, I think, be accustomed to the track. I'm not in the accustomed phase yet, but the Q, you're completely right. This is a great car, man. It's the driver that's the problem. Captain Slow mixed with lack of experience on the track. Yeah, Super Doofus, that's a great idea. Practice traction control on zero offline. Not when you've got the intensity of being online, people pushing, people being right up your keister, people ready to go Donkey Kong and punch you into another farmyard because they're punches from donkeys. All right, let's use up the whole track the best we can with our limited experience. At least have a few laps in now. From the outside, get as much of the track usage as possible. Oh, very cool. That is an off-brand. Very cool, the Q. Smart move, the Q. Now 1.5 seconds behind us is a car. There you go. Blue Beauty behind us. Try to finish up with the rat car behind us. Oh, surprise. Safe Smart driving on a track we don't know is guiding us in 6th on night 1, race 2. Yeah, race 2. Okay, so 2 required for rotation through there. So the gear selector was actually pretty darn good at letting us know where we need to be. .911 or something? Yeah, I think that's a 911 back there. Looking awfully sexy. I can avoid getting hit in those curbs with the 458 Italia. I think I'm going to get my best lap times with the 458 on this track. Maybe the 911, but I think the 458's really quick and easy turn-in is going to be a big benefit for those nasty S-turns. And it will be great. The 458 is going to be great for acceleration. These are low, very slow and medium turns. It's going to take off. It's just this straightaway it's going to be a problem. Oh, pushing it, getting a little air, a little lift off. Oh my goodness, we got those right behind us. Great racing, man. Great racing. Oh, and he hit us for the pass. Oh, that's dirty. Oh, what a that's dirt bag driving right there. Did not have to take us out. Could have taken his pass with class, but decided to be a clown instead. What a dirty donkey. Punched off the track. We need our sturdy. I do not know what SMH means, but hopefully it doesn't mean shove my homie. But I don't know what SMH means, but there we go. We got 9th, kicked out of 6th. Dirty. Oh, shaking my head. Yeah. Oh, thank you, the Q. I appreciate you keeping the live stream exciting and tips on cars. Super Doofus, thank you also for the tips on cars. And of course, Aussie Pug. This has been really good hanging out with you guys. I'm going to have to call it an early night after that frustrating boot. I'm going to have to regroup, think about different cars, maybe try a few cars off live. My safety rating went down. Don't recall why my safety rating went down, other than apparently being in people's way. Maybe I had a target on the car, so that's why my safety rating went down. Hard to understand this one, but love seeing the Jaguar here. Would love to see the Aston Martin as well. BMW, not surprised. Sturdy car, Genesis, blah. Yeah, Meta. I want to avoid the Meta. We need to race tomorrow night. Join us tomorrow night. Live stream all starts between 9 p.m. and 10 a.m. 10 p.m. Sometimes we need to start a little slightly early, sometimes a little later, but we need to try out tomorrow night the 911, the Corvette, the Ferrari, and very soon really try out most of the off non-meta cars. Thank you so much, the Q. Take care, folks. Really blessed to have you. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn bell notifications on. Drop a comment, and I wish you all more cars and more power, and hope you get to put the pedal to the metal on a car that you love sometime real soon. Take care, folks. See you tomorrow night. Blessed to have you all. Godspeed, everybody.